Hello everyone, welcome to part 16 of this install tutorial. So in this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue the design of the profile stuff. So yesterday we have designed this profile screen we get from this icon from here, this button of the header here. And now the plan of this video is gonna be when I click on the account setting right now, this is what we got, but the plan is to get this screen where the title is going to be account setting, not just setting, and where the user can edit and update finally the stuff from his account. So example, his name and email and address. So in this video, the one we're gonna do is also it's gonna be the address. So when you click address, you get to this screen. Right now I have no address at all, so this is the screen we see. And finally, when you click add address, we're gonna pop up a model in top of this one, and that's gonna be this screen here with the input. The input are not fully designed, it's gonna be designed more in the next video, but this is what we're gonna do. Also, for those who ask, for the back end, we're gonna just design everything, make sure you work in the front end, make sure we can change the state in the front end, everything. And when the address is gonna be done, after that, we're gonna do the address stuff in the back end. So don't worry. We're gonna make it. So first thing we're gonna jump is gonna be to design the account setting screen. We have already this stuff here, setting screen. So we're gonna we're gonna already change the name. And for those who ask sometime how I click, how I type and everything, you're gonna see this right there below to the left. I get that from Jermaine on my Discord. He showed me a really nice tool called Keycast, and I think that's gonna be good for you to see this. So I don't gonna say anymore the key stroke I'm gonna do. You just need to see this in the bottom left. Let me know if you don't like it or you like it. I think can be helpful for everyone. So for the settings screen, the thing we're gonna start it's with the title. Okay, so navigation option here, we can put the title. And the title is going to be account settings. So just to make sure we get to the good place, we're going to just save and check, and we get account setting. That's perfect. After that, here we see the status bar, it's light, and I'm going to put that to be dark. You have so many ways to change that, but I like to keep it in my screen this way, but it's your choice at the end. After that, what I want to do is jump on the index of like the screen, so where we can manage everything about finally the navigation stuff. And what I want to do is change some stuff of the profile stack. So for now, I don't want anymore this font weight of 400. I don't like it for the profile, so we're gonna remove it. But inside the navigation option, the first thing I want to change is I don't want to have a title here in the back. So the way you work with this is you say header back title, and I'm gonna say null. Okay, so just by doing this, just by putting this header back title, what's gonna happen, it's now when we get to the account setting, we get nothing more than just the arrow. But the arrow is not the color we want green, because this is the theme of this is the color of the app finally. So the way we handle this is by changing the theme color. Header theme color, and I'm gonna put this to be the same color we have from the theme. But now something funny is gonna happen. If I click to my account setting now, we also change the title because it's the full tint. So the tint is everything here. So the way we can handle this now is by changing the title style, and now by putting a color who's gonna be equal to the black color we have. So now finally we say keep the theme green, but I want the title to be dark. So I think this is what we want. Looks pretty nice. After that, just to make sure, I want to change the style of the header because I want the background color to be finally the white color. I don't want this kind of ish gray. I don't know what is the name of the color, but now we are sure that's going to be white. So that's good for this setup of the headers. So now if we go back to the preview, we see then the account settings of this screen here need to have these two rows. Okay, so if we go to the setting here, I want to do the same way we did in the profile screen. So what I mean by that is the profile screen, we create a link here like that. So that's going to be the same kind of way, okay? So I'm going to just copy paste from my code because that's going to go faster. So I take the same base icon style we did yesterday, but now we're going to have two links. Edit user info, where we're going to edit the name and email, and we're going to have the address. Both need an icon from Evil icon. This is coming from Expo Vector icon. And we also gonna need a theme from the constant/theme. So finally, this is the same way we did yesterday. After that, like we see in the profile screen, the way we have handled this, we have done this link stuff. You can create a component, okay? I want to go faster, but you can create a component. Don't worry about this. It's your choice here, but for me, for now, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just copy paste what we have from the profile and paste it there. Just make sure we have the scroll view, because it looks like we didn't have. And finally, this stuff is the same stuff we did in the profile. So we have the list column left. Oh, we need to import it. So list column from the command list column. So yeah, so finally we just say we have a column, and in the left side we want this, in the right side we want that. So yes, that can be a component, but so we just forget material icon from Expo. So yeah, this is the thing when you copy and paste code, sometimes that breaks stuff like that. But now we see something is really strange. So first thing is the center. Here you don't want to put center, but we want also a BG white. If you put center, that's gonna just break everything here with the flex. And now you see we get to this screen. So here we get name and address. We can click because remember what we did yesterday. If we provide a link to the list column, the list column here say if we have a link, we wrap the list column inside a touchable opacity, else we just render the content. So here, because we have provide a link, that's why we can click. So now what we want to do is to create the address screen. So we're gonna create address screen, and address take a ENS.js. Just to go faster, we're gonna copy and paste list screen. We're gonna paste that there. We're gonna wrap the list, and we're gonna change that to be address screen. Also, we're gonna still to have the dark content for the status bar. And now for this address screen, we're gonna go in the index. We're gonna add this to the profile stack. We're gonna just copy paste this one to go faster, and we're gonna say address screen. And now, because my settings screen, I've put the link to be equal to the addresses like that, we should be good. So now if I click here and I click addresses, you see that go there. If you ask how can I know which stack to hit, if we look back to the preview of my screen, the setting you see, so when we get the back icon, that means it's in the same stack, okay? So that go from the left to the right. So you see when I click here, this is the card transition. So when we click, this is always the same transition. But the difference is, as you can see, this one, when I click here, I want to go on top of the tab bar. So this screen is going to be like that. This address here screen for the form is going to be a model also like the profile, because we want to go on top of the tab. But because we see the X here, that just means it's not the same stack. So that's going to be another stack on top of those we have already. So if you ask why, just remember, do I need to have the back icon? If yes, that means need to be in the same stack. So now for the address screen, it's going to be a really simple design. First, we're going to start with the title, like we always do. Here, what we're going to do is address, like that, for the title. Also in this one, what we're gonna want it's to have some UI with the location icon. Because if we check back in the preview, so I'm gonna just close this one and close this one. We need the location icon right here in the middle. So think about this, that's gonna be like a box here with center, a box here with center, and a box here with a button inside that, and this full box center everything. So we keep the center here, but we're gonna put a BG of white. We want a background color of white. And also, if you see here, the way I've handled this, it's I decide to just put a padding of each side. So this way, if I put a padding and my button take the 100%, you're gonna just take the 100% until this padding. So for the padding, I decide to just put a padding X for left and right, and I just put more, medium. And if we look medium, this is the space, medium, it's 24. After that here, I want to have a box. So this box right now I want to design is going to be the box of this icon. And for the icon, if we look back to the settings screen, I want to have the same icon we did here with the location. So this is from eval icon from Expo. So now I'm going to just put eval icon. For the name is going to be location. For the color, I'm going to need to import that from my theme, and I don't have the autocomplete. So theme from constant/theme. So theme that color that I want the black color. And for the size, the one I figured out was 200. For the box here, I just want it to center everything you have like that. So now we're gonna check. So now what we are supposed to see, it's a big location icon right in the middle, like that. After that, if we check back the preview, we have another box here with two text. So we have a box. We're gonna center is content. We're gonna add text. And as you can see, the first text, it's bold. So we say bold. And also it's kind of big. So I'll go with size LG. So LG, it's 20. And here the text, it's add address. After that, I'm gonna have another text. This one's gonna be a bit smaller. So I'm gonna say small. And also I want the color to be equal to the gray light color we have. And here we say you haven't add an address yet. So this screen here, remember what we do right now, it's when the user don't have any address. So for now, this is the one we designed, but you see, so add address like that, that's perfect. I'm gonna just make sure we have some margin. So margin button here, I want a margin button of MD, and I want the same here, so for medium. And now after that, I want another box. With this one, gonna handle the button. So for the button, the thing is, I don't want to always copy and pasting the code. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a command button. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump to the profile screen and take the style we get from the logout button we did yesterday. So here, a button just need to be from React. We need a touchable opacity and style sheet from React Native. After that, I'm gonna create the button. Here we're gonna, I'm gonna put this because we're gonna need to handle some stuff. So inside the button, we're gonna have a child, so a children, and this is what we're gonna render in the children. And also we're gonna export default this button, and we're gonna create some style. So I'm gonna call that button, and I'm gonna paste this thing. First, I don't want this button to handle the fact that we have margin. And for the width, I always want him to be 100% of his parent. So the way you want to control it later is gonna be to always finally control the width of the parent. So that's gonna control the width of the button. So now for this button, what I want to do also, it's I'm gonna receive some props. One of the props I'm gonna receive is disable. So I want to know when my button gonna be disabled. I'm gonna do this like that. Also, I'm gonna receive an onPress function. I'm gonna put onPress like that. After that, I don't even think disable will work. Yeah, it worked. So we have on press. After that, what I want is I'm gonna receive two other things. I'm gonna receive the style and a disable style. So the style is the style of the button when the state of the button is good. Finally, it's not disabled. And I want the disable style when it's disabled. So the way I have handled this is by creating a new variable here called style. Style is going to be an array with the style at btn we just created here. So style button. So this array, the way I'm going to work, it's if I'm disabled. So if this boolean is true, what I do is I say style that push, because it's an array I can push, and I want to push the disable style. Else, so that means it's not disabled, I want to push the style, so this one. And after that, I can just use this style here to put to my button like that. So this style is gonna become the array of whatever we need, and that's gonna be controlled from this button. If from the parent, we're gonna control if it's disabled or not, and if disabled, we're gonna use the disable style, everything. And one thing you can do, yeah, like that. After that, here inside my box, I'm gonna put button, and I don't gonna get any autocomplete. So what I'm gonna need to do is import it myself. I think it's common slash, man, this autocomplete sometime. Common button, yeah, okay. So now we are back in the address. So now this button needs to have a child who's going to be a text. The text is going to be bold and the color of white. And we're going to say add address. I want to design this button, okay, a bit. So I'm going to need to import a style sheet from React Native. I'm going to scroll here and say button. And for this button here, the only thing I want to pass in the style is going to be a background color. So background color is going to be theme.color.green. If you ask where we are right now, we are here designing this button. So now the style here, you're going to have a style of button. And finally, when we unpress this thing, we're going to do an action called handle add address press. And I'm gonna put it below the state like that. That's it. Yeah. So now, if we save and refresh and see what happened, we get theme is not defined. So inside my button, I have the theme from here, but it's not defined, so I need to import it. Theme from constant.theme. So now if I click here and I go to my address, we see the button. Now, what the heck is going on here? So what happened is, we say center here, okay? And the button say 100%, but the thing is, by default, because now it's become flex 1, the flex gonna just take whatever the space it need. So the 100% don't work anymore, because the thing is, by default is parent, so is next parent have a flex of 1, so you see, just take this space. If you want to handle this now, we just need to say to the box here to take a width of 100%. One thing I'm gonna say before going further, for those who are using my library, I really think about changing this. So if I want 100%, I'm gonna just say 100% like that, because now you cannot say any width of 1. So now if you say that, you get this thing. Perfect. Another thing is, I don't want to always show this, and I want to be able to create address, and I think now it's enough design for at least a good 5 minutes. So we're gonna create a new model for that, for the address. So remember, okay, mobx-state-tree, it's a tree, okay? So that go from the top and that go to the bottom, and it's a tree, so with branch and everything. Now we have a current user, okay? And the current user gonna have some address. So we're gonna create a model here called user address. .js. So that's gonna be a brand new model we're gonna create. We're gonna handle the address. Here we're gonna need some stuff from mobx-state-tree, and that's gonna be only type. Here we're gonna export this model we're gonna create. So use our address model. So the model, the way we're gonna handle this, each address is gonna have its own identifier, so its own address, so that the ID is gonna be coming from the backend. After that, we're gonna have a string, who's gonna be a string. We're also gonna have a EPT num, so apartment number, but it's not sure we have it, so we're gonna say maybe. After that, we're gonna have postal code, it's a string. We're gonna have a city, with a string also. A province. So for me, I'm in Canada, so this is the way that works, it's province. If you're in state, I think it's state. But yeah, just choose whatever it's better for you. And we're gonna have instruction. So the instruction is gonna be optional, and it's a string also. So the instruction is gonna be about like, so we want the user to be able to add more than one address, okay? And so that's why we create like this kind of model. And when he create the address, he can say in the instruction, put this below this chair outside. You see what I mean? Like it's some instruction for the delivery man. And after that, I want to go to my current user model. And now here we're gonna say addresses is gonna be a type optional. This way, when you say type optional, the beauty of this, it's now you can say, example, I want to have a type array who's going to be equal to the user address model we just create, but by default it's going to be an empty string because I want my user to have no address at all when it starts. So now if I refresh my screen here and I go back to my React Native debugger, and now I say mobx store.outStore.toJSON just to see the full object. I have my full authentication store where I have my info, and now inside my info I have an empty array of address. Now I want to know when it's empty. Okay, I know you can do info, like you can say like all the info, the address, that len equals 0, but I like to use computed view for all this kind of stuff. So inside my address, my current model of my user, I want to say get addresses. So that's going to be a computer, so that's why we have get addresses is empty. Just to know it's empty, so we just do nothing more than just say that length equals 0. But that's going to be a computed value, so the value gonna be easier for us to handle it. So now if we go back to address screen, the way we're gonna handle this now, it's we're gonna take this full stuff here, create a brand new method called render if empty. That's gonna be just a plain function. We're gonna handle this, and we're gonna inject. So we need to inject from mobx react /native. And we're gonna inject the alt store. So render if empty. So what I want to do is now it's inside this return right now. I'm gonna just return hello for now, nothing more. You see the point? And now here I'm gonna say if this that prop that alt store that info that, and now the name we have passed inside the user current user. So if it's empty, return this dot render if empty, like that. Now I'm gonna refresh my screen, and now you see it's empty. I get that, but if I go back to my current user and I say example it's not equal to 0, we get that. That's perfect. So now we need to design the last screen. So we have finished this one. I think it looks pretty much what I did, yeah. And now I want to design the other one, who's gonna be this address screen like that. So yeah, so the way we're gonna handle this now is by creating a new screen, and I'm gonna call that address form screen. And why I don't call that create address or edit address and everything like that. Ooh, it's a folder. Address form screen.js. So yeah, so why? And so here, as you can see, it's gonna be another model. Okay, so this address here, it's gonna be in another stack. Oh, okay, yes, I just remember my question. So why do I create address form screen and not create address and everything like that? It's because if I do create and edit, the thing's gonna happen, I'm gonna need to have a brand new like screen for each of the state of the form, and I want to reuse this address form screen by default. Like, I mean, it can be create or it can be edit, so I don't need to create both. Yes, you can create address form and edit address form and just create a address form component. It's your choice. I think for now we're gonna go there. Maybe I'm gonna change. So now for this one, I'm gonna again copy paste the list screen just to go faster. Address form screen like that. And now in this one, now we're gonna go inside the profile because we want to have the X. Okay, we want to have the X when we close. So we're gonna just copy paste what we have from the profile screen. And I'm gonna say address. I think it's like that, yeah. And sometime my English, I'm gonna just go with address like that. Sorry about that, I need to change again. So no E because it don't make any sense. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now we have that address form, blah blah blah. We want the dark status bar, but now time to jump to the index inside the screen, because now we're gonna need to add that to the main navigator. So inside the main navigator, we're gonna add the address form, and we're gonna create a brand new stack. So I'm gonna say address form stack. And the way we're gonna handle this, I'm gonna just copy this profile stack, create address stack, and now here I'm gonna say address form is gonna be equal to the get screen require the default. This stuff, you can put this inside a variable. I think I say primary header, but you can call that like I don't know, like model headers, and you just put this full object like that, or you can just put this like this, and you can just override your stuff like whatever you want, but for this tutorial I'm gonna just keep it like that. So we have the address form stack, perfect. And now what I want to do, it's when I click to my address screen and the add address press, I'm gonna make use of the props navigation we have. So this is a prop navigation that navigate, and I'm gonna navigate to this address form screen. So when I click on add address, we're gonna check if that works. So now if I click here and I click your icon address and I click add address, we get close button. It's not defined, but at least that means we'll get to this screen. So close button is coming from the comments like that. And now I think that's gonna work. Here we click your icon address, add address, boom, that scroll to the top, and you see, perfect. Now we're gonna remove this center, but we're gonna put a BG of white. And now that's gonna be the fun part, because we're gonna do some UI for the input. So inside the comments, we're gonna create an input.js. So that's gonna be the base input we're gonna create for the tutorial. So this input is going to be a per component, better performance. So yeah, so we're going to import some stuff from React Native, and we're going to also need to import the theme from the constant theme. So we're going to create this input component. So that's going to be an input. Here we're going to need to have a box from React Native Design Utility. Inside the box, we're going to have a text input, not from React Native gesture, but from React Native. And we're going to also need the style sheet. So the way we're going to handle this here, it's by creating first a style for the input, which is going to be a flex of 1. So the input here, going to have a style of input. So I want him to take the full space of his parent. And for the parent, we want a width of 100%, a height of 50 pixels. We want a padding. So when I say padding, it's the padding inside. So you see inside here and everything here. So I'm gonna say xml. I want also a radius of 6, so a border radius of 6 right there. So the box here right now is just this border stuff. And for the style, we're gonna need an array of objects, because here we're gonna have border width of 1 and border color of theme that color that gray light, like that. Also, I want to always have a margin bottom of xml so nothing can touch me and below me. And after that, I'm gonna receive some props. One of the props I'm going to receive, it's container style. So the container style is going to be if you want to change the design of the container with the box. After that, all the other stuff I'm going to have, I'm going to put this inside a variable called res, and I'm going to spread that back to this text input. So example, placeholder or whatever you want. Here after that, I'm going to just say selection color, because I want always my selection color with this little blue thing when you selection the text, and I'm gonna say I want always this to be equal to the theme that color that green. We should be good. So now if we go back to the address form, first thing we're gonna import a scroll view, and we're gonna wrap this right there. Inside the scroll view, we're gonna have a box. And inside this box, we're gonna have the first input we just create. And the first placeholder is gonna be street address. So time to just test before going too much further. And this is a really good tips for those who code a lot. It's, for me, example, I always try to code the smaller I can before checking if that still works. Here maybe not, because it's a tutorial and I've already done the code. So, but when I code, I always check almost in every change. Why that is because if you get a bug after 50 lines, that's gonna be 50 lines of debugging. But if you get a bug after 2 lines, it's gonna be much more simpler. Now we see what happened. So first thing, it's not the fault of the input, it's the fault of the screen, because the input here take the 100%. And now we need to add some padding to this full box. I'm gonna add a padding of small, because that means the input take the full space, and it's really weird. So you see, so now we have the street, and you see selection color, it's this green here. So when I selection, it's the green of the stuff of the app. After that, we can have here apt number, and we're gonna say optional. And I'm gonna do like that for the other one just for now. So we're gonna have postal code, city, and we're gonna have a last one, who's gonna be instruction for delivery and optional, like that. Just checking we have everything working. Should be. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm gonna fix this instruction first, because if you look here, it's a multi-line text. So here we can change the container style. And for the container style, I'm gonna just put a height of 100. So because I want the input to be bigger, and remember the container style is the box around the input. Now what happened is, you see, the input stay in one line. So that's why you get kind of weird like that. The way to fix it is you just put the a boolean called multiline, and this props gonna go to the text input. And now just by doing that, we fix the text input because now it's a multiline. So now I can add stuff in my input the way I want. After that, if we look back to the preview, I want the postal code and the CD to be next to each other. So the way to handle that is to create a box for this to here. And the box is going to receive another box for each one. Like that. This box, I'm going to say I want a direction of row. And now if I say flex 1 and flex 1 here, they're gonna both take the full flex, they're gonna both take 50%, you see? But you see, I want the little space here because that don't make any sense. It's much better this way. So the way to handle that is by creating another box here. And for the width, we're gonna equal this, equal to the theme dot space dot xmall. And why I choose this xmall is because inside my input I've put the margin button to be xmall, so I just want to have the same space. And now by putting that, we should be able to get this little space right there in the middle. So this is the beauty of flex. So, and finally inside that here we're gonna have a button. So the button we have created, so we're gonna take the button from the command button. Inside that, we're gonna have a text with a bold color white while we say save. And for now, the button is gonna be disabled. And for the disabled style, I'm gonna create a style sheet called button disable. So for the style sheet button disable, I'm gonna put a background color of theme.color.gray light. And I want also to change background here to be a border color, because by default, if we look back to the button, we put a border color of green. And do I have the style sheet? No, so don't forget to import it. And now we should have a button at the bottom. We say save, and it's gonna be disable state, so it's impossible to click, and it's gray. But you see the space here, I don't like it. So we have wrap a box here, and this box, we can put a margin button of small. So that's gonna push back this button a bit more below. And now if we get there, we see like that. So that's it for this video. In the next one, I just want to be able to have the autocomplete of Google here. It's gonna be really simple. We're gonna make use of the library I've created, I think 4 or 5 months ago. So when the user gonna start to type, we're gonna put, we're gonna change this here to be kind of, how I say that, like another background where we're gonna have the autocomplete showing when the user click. Now we're gonna have the full object of where the user lives. So now we can fill already everything. So the postal code is going to be filled, CD is going to be filled, and yeah, so that's going to be the thing we're going to do in the next video. And after that, we want to be able to push this address to the backend, and after that, we're going to show all the address here and let the user be able to edit the address from here after that. And one of the last thing I want to do is, if the user have only one address, by default that's going to be the main one, but if the user have multiple address, I want him to be able to say which one is going to be the main one. So example, when you buy something, that's going to be always the main one who's going to be by default. So you can change it, but yeah. So I hope you enjoy. I think the app start to look a bit more like a real app with the stuff we just did. thing looks a bit better with the card. Maybe the card we can change the card empty, but yeah, I mean it's start to looks good, I think. So yes, so we're gonna talk in the next one. Hope everyone like this video. Let me know in the comments, and also let me know in the comment if you like the fact that you see all my typing. Again, the code is gonna be in the repo, and the repo link is in the description. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.